Hello everyone, and how's it going? In this video we will learn how to add files to a Git repository so a Git can track them. So we will be using a command line tool called cmdr, and we will be executing some commands which will help us to store files to a Git repository. Alright, so we have already set up our sample project in one of the previous videos. If you don't know how to initialize a Git repository, you can check out that video and I'll leave a link in the description down below. Alright, so let's jump right into our projects directory. So I'm going to type a cd / to go up one level. And now I'm going to jump into our GitHub project folder. So I'm going to type cd git project. And inside this directory, we have an example directory. So I'm going to type cd example, and this is our project root directory. So I'm going to type cd ls-a. So here we can see we have this .git folder inside of this example directory. All right, so let's start by adding a couple of files to our project. So we are going to create a file using command line, and for that we are going to use the echo command. Echo command is used to write some content to a file. So I'm going to write echo. Then we are going to write some text that we want to add into our file. So I'm going to type hello. And then I'm going to name our file. I'm going to call it file1.txt. We are going to create another file called file2. And for that, we're going to execute the same command one more time. And I'm going to change file1 to file2.txt. So we are going to echo hello to file2.txt. So with that being done, we have two files in our project, but these files are not yet tracked by Git, because when we initialize a Git repository, it does not automatically start tracking files in your project. We have to instruct Git to track files. So to know the status of our files in the working directory and the staging area, we are going to type a git status. Upon running the command, we can see that we don't have any commits yet. We have two untracked files, naming file1 and file2. By untracked files, we mean that Git is not tracking these files in our project. These files are indicated by red, which means that these files are not in the staging area. So now the question is how we can add these files to the staging area. For that, we have to use the git add command. So I'm going to type git add. Then we are going to type the name of the file that we want to add to the staging area. So I'm going to type file1.txt. We can add one file at a time, or we can also add multiple files to the staging area. So to add multiple files, we're going to give a space and type file2.txt. By running this command, both of our files will be added to the staging area. We can also use patterns for this. So we are going to type git add. We are going to type steric.txt. So this will add all the files with a txt extension to the staging area. Or we can use git period to add all the files in our project recursively to the staging area. So you have to be a bit careful with using git add with a period, because sometimes you don't want to add all the files to the staging area. You might have some files you want to ignore, such as the log files or the binary files. So for this video, we are going to use the git add with a period command, because we only have two files in our project and we want to add both files to the staging area. So I'm going to execute this command. Once that is done, we are going to type git status command again to check the status of our files. So I'm going to type git status. So here we can see that our file names turned green, which means they are in the staging area and they are ready to be committed. Okay, so let me show you something interesting here. I'm going to modify one of our files and we are going to append some text in file1. So for that, we are going to use the same echo command, but this time we will use two greater than signs, which means append. So I'm going to append world to whatever text is written in file 1. So I'm going to type echo world with 2 greater signs to file1.txt, and I'm going to execute the command. Now let's run git status again. So I'm going to type cls to clear the screen, and I'm going to type git status. All right, here we can see that we have 2 files marked with green in the staging area, but we also have one modified file in our working directory. So you might be asking, didn't we already add file 1 to the staging area? The answer is yes, we did. But when we ran the add command, git took a snapshot of our file 1 and added that snapshot to the staging area. So after we modify file 1 in our working directory, we have older version of file 1 in the staging area, and we have our latest modified version in the working directory. So we can say that the file 1 has some changes that are not staged yet. To stage these changes made to file 1, we are going to use the same command, which is git add followed by a period. And now we are going to run git status command again, and here we can see that we have file 1 and file 2 in our staging area. So that means that our latest changes made to the file 1 are now added to the staging area. So that's how we add our files to the staging area. In the next video, we are going to take a look at how we can commit this snapshot to permanently store it in the Git repository.